I ran a very simple test. Let's run this test together. I'm going to ask you to do two tasks at the same time. I'm going to first ask you to think about something that makes you unhappy. Okay? That's easy, I think, right? If I tell you to think about something that makes you unhappy, your brain will go like, sure, yeah, I have a few of those, right? The second thing is I'm going to ask you to keep that unhappy feeling inside you and just add a few simple numbers on the screen, a few mathematics, right? So we'll take 20 seconds. Feel free to close your eyes, think about something that makes you unhappy, and then keep that feeling of unhappiness inside you until I ask you to start doing the math. Something that makes you unhappy. Okay, good, ready? I want you to stay unhappy. Please stay unhappy and add the numbers that will now show on the screen. Who here managed to add all the numbers? Anyone? Oh, bad. Okay, at least did anyone remain unhappy? Wow, why? It's easy to remain unhappy. Sometimes we remain unhappy for weeks and months and years. Why? Think about this experiment for a minute. Around a minute ago, life was exactly as it is right now. Then I told you to think of something that makes you unhappy. No real event happened in the real world. It's not the event, right? Nothing happened, yet you went to your brain and you said, hey, brain, bring me something that makes me unhappy. Your brain goes like, yeah, sure, absolutely. I have 730 things that I was upset about. Which one do you want? And you can easily generate that unhappy feeling. Oh, she told me that she doesn't like me yesterday, right? And then suddenly you get that overwhelming feeling of unhappiness. Why doesn't she like me? You could keep that for 20 seconds. What if I had asked you to keep that feeling inside you for 20 minutes? Many of us would be able to. We would be able to expand the thinking. She doesn't like me. A week ago, she actually looked the other way when I saw her. You know, I heard that she messaged her friend and said that I'm ugly. You know, all of those thoughts can come to your brain. And if you kept those feelings for 20 minutes, would anything have happened in the real world? It's a thought that came to your head with no event. Nothing happened in the real world to cause it. When it happened, there was no event as a result. Nothing changed in the real world as a result. The only thing that happened in between is you tortured yourself with that unhappy feeling. How stupid is that? It's a thought that generates unhappiness. When you think about it, you realize this. It's not the events of life that make us unhappy. It's the way we think about the events of life that make us unhappy. Any event in the world can happen. Until you grant it the power to make you unhappy, it's not going to make you unhappy. You can get into a taxi and the taxi driver is a little angry and rude and he shouts at you, and you can tell yourself, this is crazy, why am I here? I hate this, you know, nobody should shout at me, he's disrespecting me. With those thoughts, you're going to feel unhappy. Or you could sit in there and say, he must have been driving for the last 12 hours. Anyway, it's going to be 7 minutes. I don't really care, right? I hope he feels better tomorrow. You get out of the car and you don't think about it. If you thought about it the second way, you're happy. If you thought about it the first way, you're unhappy. It's the same event. The way you think about it is what makes you unhappy. Let me give you another example. I had a wonderful car that I loved. You know, a convertible, twin turbo. In my bad years, I really loved cars. And my wife at the time, Nibel, took it out and she was driving it and she had an accident head on. She literally hit a truck, okay? It was near our home, so I drove there quickly. I could not recognize the car. It was a big ball of metal. The car was gone. But every safety feature worked. So the airbags deployed, the crumble zones were fine, and my wife went out of the car totally safe. The event here was my car was gone, the car that I really, really loved was gone, and my wife was safe. My expectation was, wow, my wife was saved from such a bad accident, I'm happy. I don't care about the car, right? Imagine this. Imagine if my wife had taken the car out, parked it on the side, went inside to buy a coffee, and when she was inside buying a coffee, the truck hit the car and the car was totaled, right? It would be the exact same event. The car is a wreck and my wife is safe. But the way I would think about it is, oh, this idiot driver, why did he do this? He destroyed my car. I'm so unhappy. So by turning the negative thought into a positive thought,